Welcome, welcome. By For the Passion, not the fashion. I'm here back with Rick Hunolt. I almost say Rob Jukes. We talked about Rob Jukes. No, I'm here with Rick Hunolt, the great guitar player of Exodus. In my heart, you're still the guitar player of Exodus because you always will be part of Exodus, in my opinion. And
I will. No, I will always be a part of Exodus for sure.
And it was great to see you playing in Oakland. The show in Oakland was so cool on the
It was awesome, huh? It was a lot of fun.
And when you put the children on stage, and this is the generation of heavy metal, this was so cool, with those kids on stage. Was awesome. I love that show. I watch it so often. The show in Oakland, all the stage divers. It's a small show, but it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you weren't there, Marco.
Yeah,
you'll come soon. Yeah,
I come over. I come sometimes in the US. Yeah, and I love the Bay Area. So I was too late. I was too early in the Bay Area. I missed the 40 years anniversary of Metallica because I missed the Journey concert in the stadium of from the Warriors. What's the
Oakland Coliseum?
No, they moved to the Chase Center. And I was like, I'm back in Holland when Journey and Metallica are gonna play in the Bay. So
I love Journey.
I love Journey too, but Steve Perry, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Hey, about stage divers, we spoke about the stage divers on the Oakland Square.
Yes, sir.
But real stage divers we're gonna talk about. Who are the real stage divers?
Well, that all started back in the Ruthie's day. Yeah, that's Toby. I think that's in Sacramento at a place called the Crest Theater. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, yep, that's the book. So there was so let's talk about the Slay team first of all. So the reason we even had a Slay team was my brother, Lon Hunolt, who's in that book you just showed me. Lon Hunolt, Andy Anderson, and Toby Rage.
You know what we forgot? Oh no, we were recording. Sorry. Okay, yeah.
So there was three. This is reality. This is truth. There's 3 members of the Slay team.
Yeah.
Lon Hunolt, my brother, Andy Anderson, and Toby Rage. So the reason that we needed to stage the Slay team, and that's what we named them, is that during the Ruthie shows and the local Berkeley shows, there would be so many people on stage during our set that they'd unplug our guitars and step on our pedals and knock the drums over and all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? So after a little while, we had to have 3 people on stage to push them off.
Okay.
So that's the Slay team. That was Lonnie was on my side, Toby was dead center, and Andy was on Gary's side. So if anybody got on stage, we'd let them get on stage, but it started to be this game where they'd get on for a couple of seconds and then they'd get thrown off on their head, So what would happen is the kids would get on this. It became a big game. You know what I mean? It was like a big game. Let's go to Exodus and get on stage and get thrown off and stage dive and do all this crazy shit. So it started becoming just as much as part of the show as we were, which was awesome. And I've always said, Marco, to this day, that Exodus was the fans. That's Exodus. We were just 5 guys up there playing the music. You know what I mean? And it's true. It's because you went to an Exodus show, not just to see, to hear the music, but to participate in what was an Exodus show. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was like, it was a big deal. It was like, we wanted the people that were there to feel as much as part of the show as that we were. You know what I mean? And without them, there would be no show. So
That's something I'm worried about tomorrow.
what's up tomorrow?
I have booked Tyson Dog tomorrow at the Little Devil Club in Tilburg. I'm a booker too. I book bands in here. I work for an agency. Let's see. I work together with an agency and we book bands here in
So you
Europe.
book international bands?
International, yeah, but I'm not the booker. I'm the promoter. So I'm
Nice.
not. Yeah. So tomorrow
So
we
you
booked.
work hand in hand with the agents.
I work hand in hand with the agency. I have a boss who book and pay the bands come over, and I am the host. You know, they come tomorrow to my place. We grill here, we drink here, and then I bring them to the club, and then we have a show, and then we make party. You know, I'm just the guy who do the cool things with them instead of the.
That's awesome. What a great job.
Yeah, and it's just like a volunteer job. You know, the boss of the agency asked me because he said, you're passionate, you're a real metalhead, a real passionate metalhead. Okay, would you like to promote our shows and be host for the bands? I said, well, then why not? It's cool. So Tyson Dog come play tomorrow here. You know Tyson Dog from England?
No, I don't. Are they good?
They're a new wave of British heavy metal from the late 80s, late 70s, early 80s. But
Nice.
they're more like up tempo, you know. There's not that as they are really up tempo heavy metal, nearly to not speed metal, but on the edge. You know, they're quite fast and they're good.
Nice.
They're a great band.
Nice. That's killer. So how are ticket sales? Pretty good?
Now it's Rock Hard tomorrow. Usually I should go to Rock Hard Festival.
Oh shit.
Rock Hard Festival, and I live only 1 hour from the border, and I'm good friends with Ventor from Creator, Yula, with Bernie from Sodom, also other Sodom guys, and I always go with them to the Rock Hard Festival. But
Yeah.
Rock
Hard
year,
is awesome.
yeah, it's awesome. But this year I was too late to because I was working for the agency and I didn't know for sure if I should go or not go. And I asked Peppy, you know, Peppy Grey Violator from Sodom. I asked him if there was parking spaces left, but it was completely madhouse. You know, the place is packed. You know, for the weekend. So for me, no Rock Hard this weekend. I'm really sad about that.
I'm sorry, Marco. That sucks.
Yeah, Rock Hard is one of the greatest festivals here in the area.
It's one of the oldest festivals, that's for sure.
Well, the oldest festival is of course in my Dynamo, and that's my you know, in the past it was organized by Andre Verhuizen and Metal Mike. You might know them from Artshock magazine.
From Artshock, yeah.
Yeah, Artshock. And now they are done by Cherrick and Paul, and they do the Dynamo Metal Fest, which is an awesome fest, and Cherrick is a good
so Dynamo. So Andre's not a part of Dynamo anymore.
No. It's
where do you see Andre?
I have seen Andre a few years ago at another festival. He's a cool guy. I
love him.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, and Mike I also know personal, but they don't do the Dynamo anymore. It's done by two other guys, which are totally cool guys. Cherrick Maas, he's from Loud Noise, and Paul van Berlo. They do a great job to promoting great festivals here in Europe.
Yeah, big deal.
Yeah. Hey, but yeah, about talking about the Slay team.
Yes,
I want
sir.
to ask you, they were in I showed you the book Murder in the Front Row.
Yes,
you
sir.
See? Great book, great pictures and stories in it. And the video is even more killer to me, in my opinion. It's the moving pictures, of course. It's filming. But about the Slay team, it was your brother, it was Toby and Andy, you know.
Yes, sir.
How crazy were they, and how did they bring stage diving to another dimension? They walk over the people. That
was the whole thing. It's like, okay, so the stage divers, so the stage divers, just because the Slay team was in front of us, kneeling down on their knees, right?
Yeah.
Guarding our pedals. So in order to get on stage, they had to get over the Slay team. right?
Okay.
So they had to run and jump over the Slade team to get on stage. And then once they got on stage, they had to run and jump over the Slade team again to get off stage.
They were
So that's,
were quite of the leaders of the of the stage divers. They
well, yeah,
were
in the thrash scene, yeah. You know, it all comes from punk rock.
yeah.
You know, so but a lot of punk rockers came to our shows back in the day. You know, that's why they call it crossovers, because it was honestly it was true crossover. You know, I think you know, DRI is a crossover band musically, but I don't think
My best friend in America is the drummer. My best American friend is Felix.
Rob? Oh, Felix.
Yeah, he's my best American buddy.
Yeah, I love Felix.
He's
How's he
awesome.
doing?
Well, I spoke to him a few months ago, and I don't speak him weekly, but I speak him at least once a month. And he's up and down, always up and down. But
Yeah.
he has a golden heart. He's such a nice guy, you know. I love
No,
him.
he is. He is a good guy. I remember Felix from way back, dude.
Yeah, little
When
boy.
we played at DRI shows in Houston and Texas, and he was an amazing drummer.
He
You know,
still
he
is.
had he liked to party, that's for sure.
Too much.
Yeah, he likes to party too much. But anyway, so anyway, back to the stage divers. So we really had a crossover crowd. It was like a lot of like real punks, like from Berkeley, that Fang, the actual band members would come into our shows. Fang and MDC and 7 Seconds.
I love that.
And yeah. So this is a true crossover crowd. And you know, of course there was fights and, you know, blood upon the stage and all this other stuff, but it was mostly in fun, you know.
Good friendly, violent fun.
Yeah, exactly. And it's true. It's exactly right.
Awesome. Hey,
No,
and
it is awesome.
it's magic when I see you have seen the video live in the Ritz from DRI.
Yeah.
So then the Steenatzers would bashing some guy up, and then the others are still partying going on, you know. It's crazy, you know. It's madhouse.
Yeah, it's awesome. It was really cool.
And
New York is a great job.
Yeah, New York too. It's my next plan to go to New York because I really want to see the New York hardcore scene. I love the New York hardcore scene with Madball, Biohazard, everything, you know. It's awesome.
Yeah. COC and just all the hardcore bands, huh?
Yeah, also the old stuff, you know, from the early 80s. But I grew up in the more 90s stuff because I was a thrasher in the 80s. And later on, I start hardcore more in the 90s, you know, Biohazard, Madball, stuff like that. But it's all crazy. It's all killer stuff.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Hey, and about Paul, you know, back to Paul.
Yes, sir.
Did he
the
really?
legend.
Yeah, he is a legend. I was at his graveyard, you know. I never met him in real life, so went to his grave and start to be close to him as possible, you know.
Marco, you know what? He would love you, Marco, because you're such a passionate guy for metal.
I hope I would love but when I was in the graveyard, I was like crying, you know, when I was at this graveyard, and they say Paul Baloff, you know, for me he was, of course I love Steve Souza. He's such a nice guy. I met him so many times. He's awesome. But Paul, you know, Paul is he was one of a kind.
No, he really was. He was. So I think the best thing for you to do to get in touch with Paul would be probably to put on the live album. He's so good on the live album, bud.
Yeah.
That's Paul Baloff right there in a nutshell. That's Paul Baloff. He was captured, his whole personality, everything about him is on that album.
And I also, but I you know, one thing I'm so sad about. In the 90s, late 90s, I was in a institution for problem kids, you know, and I had to choose one festival in that summer.
Hold on a second. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
In 97, I had to choose one festival. I could only go one.
Wait. So what happened? What you were a troubled kid?
Yeah, but yeah, trouble. Not trouble like violence, but like mental problems, you know, like problems you know, social problems. And
Wow, you got better. Good, man.
you know, I have
Heavy-
autism. You know,
Did,
autism.
did heavy metal help you out?
Yeah, but they thought it was different. I was a very shy, silent kid on school. They always bullied me, and then I did a interview on school about heavy metal. I was 8 years old, and the teacher called my mother. I said, I saw the sweetest kid in the class totally possessed, talking about that kind of music, you know, and I talked about Access Slayer and stuff like that. And it was strange. They thought it was strange. So they sent me to some institution where,
What?
yeah, in this institution for kids who have problems. And they say metal was the problem. So they threw all the posters from my wall and put the patches off my jacket and broke my records. I can show
Holy
you.
shit.
What? You have 1 moment? I show you one
Yeah, of
record
course.
which is broken.
Holy shit, dude. Wow. Holy cow.
Well, this record, I played this all the time when I was 11-year-old. Always.
Wow. We're
And
on
you
that
know,
record, right?
yeah, you are on that record. And you know what they did? They broke one record, but I kept it because it's, I don't know, they hate it, and they say, and then I rebought it again later. But I had a really tough youth because they really could they didn't know I was autistic, so they say it was the metal who was my would say it was my
Dude,
problem.
that's just crazy.
And you know who did it? You know who had a problem about that? These Christians in the US who had these programs about how violent and they come on TV in Holland, and people saw it like, oh, this is bad, you know. They destroyed my life to took that down, but I'm a fighter. Metal would never leave my life. It's in my life since I was 6 years old, and I will be always a metalhead. Once a metalhead, always be a metalhead. Rick?
Dude, that's incredible, dude. You're an amazing cat, dude. That's awesome. It's like it's people like you that keep it alive, bro.
Yeah, but this about Exodus, you played in '97 on the Dynamo Metal Fest, Dynamo Open Air.
Yeah.
And I was in behind, not in jail, but behind doors. And they could choose one festival to go that summer. And that was a festival somebody took me with, you know, some people took me there. And I went to the, with Fozzy, you know, Fozzy?
Of course, I know
Frank Cohen, Fat Frank, I don't know if you know him. And all these people took me to the Grasspop Metal meeting in '97.
Grasspop is big.
Yes, but that same year you were playing at the Dynamo, and I could only go one festival. And I'm still sad today that I went to the Grasspop and not to the Dynamo, because that was the last chance to see Paul Baloff playing. But at least I was at this graveyard, and how many people in Holland could say that?
That's exactly right. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Marco. So does he. He loves. He thanks you, bud. For sure.
And
he was a. He was. I tell you what, Marco. I mean, all the stuff that you hear about Paul.
Yeah.
People loved Paul Baloff. And the reason they loved him is because he was so real. You know, he was just, there was nothing fake about Paul Baloff. What you see is what you got. You either loved him, or you either hated him, or you either loved him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all the shit that you hear about it early on in the shows, it's all true, dude. He would cut T-shirts off of posers and make and put like trophies on his arms. You know, he'd take pieces of material and tie them on his wrist.
What did he?
He would cut T-shirts off of posers, right?
Yeah.
And then he would take the material and make bracelets out of it, and he'd have trophies on his arm, all the way up his arm from the T-shirts.
he had a button on his jacket. I never saw really good what's on it. Was it Kill Posers or
Yes,
this
absolutely.
this pink button?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so he was really. Is it really true that when he was in the hall and he was playing, this show, and some glam fact? Sorry, not against facts, but we
Yeah,
can say it. And some glam facts came in, and then he said, "Get him!"
yeah. It's all true.
Really?
It's all true. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. He
uh,
hated posers, dude. He really
yeah.
did.
Hey,
Such
and
a good dude.
yeah, and is it also true? It's maybe a harder question for you also to answer, but I know that people like to hear if it's true or not. There's some stories around about Paul Baloff that at some point he was homeless. Is that true?
Well, okay, look. Paul never had a job.
No.
No, his job. He was the singer for Exodus for many many years. And he made a living on that. He had a lot of friends. He had a lot of friends, and he'd go from place to place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. He was never without a home, without a place to lay his head, but he lived in places that were like
Yeah. I
bad.
got you. I got you. I
Yeah.
wasn't. I was
So
in the Bay, so
yeah, so uh, we took care of Paul. We did. We took care of Paul. We'd come to practice at Gary's house in the beginning, and practice in Gary's mom's garage, and then she would store food in the garage, and we'd give him food and money, and you know, uh, and where he died, where the last place that we practiced when I was in the band, in Oakland, in East Oakland, way down in Oakland. He lived at the studio there. He had a place there that he built. It was a little. He listen. He was a simple guy, Marco. He
yeah.
didn't need a lot to be happy. He needed heavy metal, and he needed his friends. That's basically it. You know what I mean? He was a simple guy, and people loved him.
Yeah.
He was really popular with the girls because
Yeah. He was.
yeah, because
Uh,
he'd never come on to them, and he'd never treat them bad, and he was so funny. Paul was just hilarious, dude. He was just the funniest guy. And girls felt very comfortable around him. uh he had a lot of friends, man. He had a lot of friends, people that, like, when Paul's name comes up, it's just like, wow,
yeah.
we love him so much. Just our buddy.
We know that feeling. Yeah.
Sometimes Marco, I still can't believe he's gone, to tell you the
No.
truth. It's tough, dude.
Yeah. The same we have with Fozzy in Tilburg.
Yeah, Fozzy was the same kind of guy. Fozzy was, dude. Me and Fozzy got along really, really well. He was every time we'd go to Holland. Rick Ambrose, of course. You know Rick.
Yeah, of course. Jewel guy, Hells
Yeah,
Angels,
yeah,
and Hooker guy.
yeah. He's the Hell's Angel. So,
I love him. Rick. I love you, dude. I love Rick. Rick is so great. He
yeah,
comes
he's a good
often
guy.
at my place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, what is this your house where you're at right now?
yeah,
I can't believe your CD collection, bud.
yeah. They have much more at other place, the other room and stuff.
Dude, I
So
mean, how many do you have? Thousands and thousands, huh?
yes, yeah, like
Look at
records
that.
and in the
Dude, that is
hall.
amazing, bro.
Yeah, but Rick. Sorry, I would really I plan to release the record of Rick and Manfred. You know Manfred
No,
from Happy Face?
no.
Uh, anyway, Rick had several bands, and I would try to help him with this release, and it didn't work out. I feel very sad, but Rick and me are still. I'm sure Rick. I love Rick. He's such a also like Paul.
He comes
Real
to all the
guy.
shows. He comes to all the shows.
Yeah, I know. We're together with I have a story. I know a story when I was with Rick at an Exodus show some years ago, but in the 013, you remember?
13?
Or 013 in Tilburg.
Was I there?
Have you played there? Have you played there with Exodus 013?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's in
Pretty sure.
Tilburg. Yeah. I think I was there with Rick, also with Rick. Yeah. Yeah, Rick. Yeah, it's there was always a connection between the Netherlands people and the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, always. Started with Andre,
Yes.
you know, and then Andre and Jeff Weller, Laws Rocket. Yeah, so Laws Rocket's big in Holland, huh?
They not they're a little bit. You're bigger at the moment. Exodus is bigger at the moment, but nobody will. The 80s were Last Rocket, they were huge, and now That Angel and Exodus are still the main bands from the Bay, I think. And
yeah,
everybody. You know, so many people I know, like Angel, my mother. You know Angel, my heavy metal mother. Angel, you know her?
Is that your mom?
She says always that she's my mom, and I always say she's my mom. We always say like we are mother and son, you know, but we are not mother and son. But she's like my mother, you know. Angel's like my mother. She's so, yeah.
How old are you, Marco?
I'm 44. She couldn't be my mom, but and also, like, you know, who's also very good friends with me, and you also probably know Talita. Talita?
Talita, yeah.
Marta, yeah, Talita, Lila, the blonde one. You know the blonde
That's your
one.
family, huh?
Yeah, that's the Dutch Thrash family, you know, and all these people, you know, and you all know. And when I did this interview, I talked to Talita hours, like, wow. She said, "Oh, crazy," and all the Germans also, like Marco and Igor from Brazil. They said, "Oh, you're gonna talk to Rick Hunolt. He's such a legend. You have to talk about the Slay team, about Paul Baloff," and they all have requests what I'm gonna ask for you.
Wait, write down some more questions and we'll do number 3 soon, bud.
Yeah. It's so
Okay.
crazy. It's so like that. I want to ask a last question. Let me do the rest tomorrow. My friend Igor from Brazil, he said to me, Gary Holt and you were like the guitar duo from Thrash Metal, like Glenn Tapton and Kiki Downing from Judas Priest in heavy metal. I
Yes,
think
sir.
he's right, but how do you see this? That Gary Holt and Rick Hunolt were the twin guitar duo from Thrash Metal, like Glenn and Kiki from Judas Priest.
Well, I grew up to Priest, and to me, they're like legends. You know what I mean? So to be compared to them is like
That's cool. It's cool.
Serious compliment, right?
Yeah,
because,
it is.
Hey, back in the day, KK and Glenn were just killing it, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
they wrote some of the most classic music in our lives, right? So, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Bad record, of course. Sorry, but it's the Turbo Records. But
yeah. Chubba, our producer that produced that album.
Yeah.
Yeah, a guy. Yeah, he did Force of Habit.
Oh, that's a great one from 1991.
Yeah, I love Force of Habit.
Yeah.
Don't like it, but I like it.
I like it too.
Anyway, yeah. So back to the question. To be compared to like two icons like that is just like, it's unbelievable. You know, I listen to KK and I listen to Glenn Tipton and I listen to their leads and their solos, and I'm just like, wow, man, these guys they were so far ahead of their time, don't you think?
They're playing speed metal when everybody was playing slowly in the 70s, and they already were in for surprise. You know, they already. Yeah, it's so killer. You know, that's Unleashed in the East album gives me goosebumps all over, all the time. You know, Unleashed in the East.
Hey, Marco, you been to Brazil?
No, but my good friend Igor wants me to go there.
You should go there. It's awesome.
Yeah, he told me.
Hey, man, I swear, the South American metal fans are fucking crazy, bro. Yeah. They love heavy metal, bro.
Can you because he will love it. He will my friend Igor, yeah. Igor lopen.
Viva Brazil!
Yeah. It's
I love Brazil.
yeah,
They're my
Sao Paulo.
Huh?
Sao
Yeah.
Paulo.
Sao Paulo, Curitiba, all of it, everywhere. It's just Argentina, Chile, Mexico, South America, Brazil. Forget about it. Some of the best fans in the world, bro.
Yeah.
Seriously, they're incredible.
I have a friend from Mexico, a female friend. She travels. She never comes out of Mexico because she's now not allowed to go to the US because the US don't allow people from South America so easily. Stupid,
Right.
you know. They told me like, yeah, we can't go to the US. Even my friend Igor can say I can't go to the US. I don't know. But these people travel all over Mexico, so to go everywhere to every concert, they travel 3 days, you know, to see a band. You know, she told me that.
They're incredible fans, dude. They're the best fans in the world. Besides, all the fans are great, but I'm telling you, man, South American fans they're incredible. So dedicated.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, it was very cool to have this second part.
I'm got it to work, bud. Good job.
I love you. I love you. You're such a cool guy, and I'm
love you
so
too,
cool.
Malcolm.
It's so cool to talk to you. And sorry, I get too spontaneous and too enthusiastic when I keep the word over. It's like you're talking. You know, it's so crazy. You know, it's
No, it's cool. It's cool. We'll talk again tomorrow, yeah?
yeah. Now tomorrow I have concert with
Okay,
Tyson
well, yeah,
Dog.
that's right. Anytime. You know how to get a hold of me.
Yeah, sorry.
I said you know how to get a hold of me.
Yes. Hey, do you see like Craig or Tim regular? Craig?
Yes.
Do give them a hug for me.
Of course I will.
They are
Of course
such
I
a
will.
yeah. Hey, love you, brother. It was great to talk to you.
All right. I'll see you soon.
Chapter 3, all right?
Chapter 3. Ah.